This is the warm-up for lesson 26, the slope-intercept form of a line. Our warm-up, the first question, find the slope of the line that contains the points 8, 3, and 8, 8. Well, right off the bat, we can tell that our 8's are the same, our x values are the same. X value and x value is the same. So I know that if my x values are the same, then I'm dealing with a vertical line. Let me show you. 8, 3 would be out here at 8 and up at 3, and 8, 8 would be out at 8 and up at 8. That makes a vertical line. And we know that vertical lines have an undefined slope. Now, algebraically, we could show that by saying change in y over change in x. And our y values, from 3 to get to 8, we go up 5. But our x values, because they're the same, we have no change, so we're dividing by 0. Anytime we're dividing by 0, our answer is undefined as well. So vertical line, same x values, dividing by 0 makes us undefined. Find the slope of the line from the graph. Well, we can count, that's one way. Change in y over change in x, so we can count our changes in y. Y's go up and down, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going up 10, and we're going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, over 6, and that can simplify. 2 goes into both of those. That simplifies to 5/3, up 5 over 3. Up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 3, 1, 2, 3. Takes us right to that line again, so we know we're right. Homework questions we'll do in class. Today we're going over the slope-intercept form. This is lesson 26, slope-intercept form. Our essential question, how is graphing using slope-intercept form different from graphing using the x and y intercepts? That's what we did 2 lessons ago. So we want to know this. You're going to want to write this down and memorize this. This is slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Where y is a y value, it can also be substituting in with any y coordinate on the line. M is the slope. We used to call this slope, we used to call the common difference d when we were talking about how much change is there. That was also the common difference. X is an x coordinate from xy, so we could substitute in a point x and y with our slope and our b, and our equation would work out. And b stands for the y-intercept. That's where our line crosses the y-axis. So if I had a line here, where it meets the y-axis is b. That's the y-intercept. So find the slope and the y-intercept, our first example. Well, the first, we can find our slope, that's m. So from one point to get to the next point, we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going up 10 and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Over 12. That simplifies to 5 over 6. So our slope is 5, 6. Our y-intercept, our b value, is 2. b equals 2. So if we write this equation, y equals mx plus b, our y's and our x's are always going to be the same. So I say y equals, I substitute in 5, 6 for our m. X stays the same, and b is 2, so plus 2. So that's the equation of this line. So if we wanted to, we could substitute in any one of these points. So like we could substitute in this point, and it would work into this equation. Let me show you. This point is the point 6, 7, right? 6, 7. Our x value is 6 and our y value is 7. So if I plug this in, y value is 7, 5, 6 times my x value, which was 6, I can write that as 6 over 1 plus 2. Now what happens when I multiply 5, 6 times 6? My 6's simplify, and I get 7 equals 5 plus 2. Does 7 equal 7? Yes, it does. So any point on this line, if we plugged it in for x and y using our slope and our y-intercept, it would work out. The equation would be correct. It would work itself out. Our second example, find the slope and y-intercept, then sketch the line. So if we look at this, our slope is 3, that's the same as 3 over 1, and our y-intercept is negative 5. So we can sketch the line. When we sketch it, we always start with our y-intercept, because we need to know, we can't just start putting down a slope without knowing where it's going to go through. So it's going to go through negative 5. I know that it's going to go through negative 5. And we're going to go up 3 and over 1. Up 3 and over 1. Up 3 over 1. Up 3 over 1. Going the other direction, we could go down 3 and left 1. And we have enough points to make our line. We can see that our y-intercept is negative 5, like it was supposed to be. And our slope, we're going up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. Our slope is 3. So you guys try this. Now this is written in function form. F of x, this is the exact same as y equals 2 thirds x minus 5. So what's the first thing we're going to do? We're going to do our y-intercept first. Our y-intercept is negative 5. So we put a point at negative 5. And now our slope is 2 thirds. That means up 2 and right 3. Up 2 and right 3. Up 2 and right 3. We could go down 2 and left 3. Down 2 and left 3. And we've got our line. Example 3, putting this in slope-intercept form. So this would be like write y as a function of x is another way that you could see this, or put it in slope-intercept form. So writing y as a function of x means we want this eventually to say y equals. So I need to get y by itself. We ask ourselves, what's happening to the y? It's being multiplied by 3, it's being added with 2x, and it's being subtracted by 6. So I'm going to undo the addition and the subtraction before I undo the multiplication. I can undo the subtracting 6 by adding 6 to both sides. I can undo the adding 2x by subtracting 2x from both sides. Now when I write this, I always write my x terms in front. So I'm left with 3y equals negative 2x plus 6. So now what do? 3 is being multiplied by y, so I divide by 3, divide by 3, and divide by 3. This makes negative 2 thirds, don't worry that there's a fraction, times x, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So what's our y-intercept? We'll do that first. Our y-intercept is 2. And our slope is negative 2 thirds. That means down 2 and right 3. Down 2 and right 3. If we're moving the other direction, we can see that we'd be going up 2 and left 3. And up 2 and left 3. And pretend that I can draw a line through my points. That's the hardest thing for me to do. And there's our line. This is our equation. Y equals negative 2 thirds x plus 2. So you try this one. Take a second, hit pause and do it. When we look at this, we can say, hey, our y is being multiplied by 6 and we're subtracting x. So I want to undo the subtraction first. We're going to add x to both sides. We get 6y equals x plus 24. And now we divide by 6. Divide by 6. So what's in front of that x? That's really a 1x. There's an invisible 1 right there. So we get y equals 1/6 times x plus 4. So our y-intercept, we do that first. Our y-intercept is 4. And our slope is 1/6. So that means we're going to go up 1 and right 6 and down 1 and left 6. And we have the slope of our line with our y-intercept makes our line. Our homework today is homework 26.